Hey everyone, it's Christy and I'm here to give you some more information, some insight on how to take upon yourself and experience everything that's already yours, your inheritance, okay? But before I jump into this, I want to remind you to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Tell your friends about this channel so they can experience what's already there, so they can keep encouraged and accountable for their thoughts, okay? Because that's what everything is created by our thoughts into this physical world. Hit the like button, hit the bell icon so you can get notified immediately whenever I put up a video, okay? So you can stay encouraged, because I've talked to some of you and you do need this encouragement daily, okay? To keep on track as you rewire your brain. So what I wanted to talk to you about today is basically that only 1% of the population will succeed in this, okay? Succeed in what? Taking your thoughts captive, casting down vain imaginations, replacing them with truth, and doing some deep meditation, okay? Too many people have been programmed throughout their life to think a certain way, an ungodly way, if you will, and that's not to condemn anybody. It just means not thinking on things that are lovely and true and of a good report, like Philippians 4:6-8 tells us to do, okay? Most people, including myself, grew up thinking the opposite of that, okay? Not constantly, but if those are your dominant thoughts, that's what's going to create your life out here in this physical world. So we want to do some deep meditations throughout the day, especially in the mornings. When you're waking up, that's when your brain is waking up and it's still in that theta brainwaves. And in the evening when you're going to sleep, you go back into those theta brainwaves, okay? And that's whenever it's most changeable and moldable. Also, I've learned that it's most changeable and moldable when you are going through something and purging something out, okay? And so, you know, I watched this movie the other night and I don't think I've ever seen it before. And you might have heard of it before. And it's called, what was it called? Fight Club, I think. Yeah. And so I was like, what is going on in this movie? Okay. And so if you haven't seen it before, just to preface this first before I talk about this, you have the one guy who he is an insurance agent or something, I guess, living this life, living in his condo, doing all this stuff, whatever, and then this other guy comes into his life and it's Brad Pitt, and Brad Pitt comes into his life and he's this guy who's just free and just lives in this house that, is an abandoned house, blah, 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 okay? So he teaches him basically to fight, to get his aggression out and not care about anything, okay? And so, which I don't recommend that. So I came to find out close to the end of the movie, I was like, what is going on? And I realized at a certain point, this was him and his alter ego basically trying to take over, okay? So, he was kind and helped people. I think that's how he was, like in the beginning, sort of. But anyway, this alter ego was angry and wanted to fight and not care about anything, okay? Now, there is a point in our lives and in our subconscious and in our conscious thinking, I should say, to where we don't want to care about anything, meaning not caring too much. We still want to have compassion on people and, things like that, but meaning ignoring the 3D is what I'm getting at if it doesn't match what's already ours, if that makes sense. So back to that movie, towards the end, it's like he could not get this alter ego to go away, of telling him to do things and like to blow up like this whole community or something of like the credit cards or something like that, getting rid of computers. And basically he wanted to get rid of everything, things that were controlling people. And, like credit cards and things like that. But they only control us if we let it, right? Okay, but that's the way he was wanting to handle it, is, controlling things and not letting things control us. But the only way we do that is with our thoughts. Because like I said, our thoughts create Our conscious thoughts create, our subconscious mind projects out and reflects back to us. So like I said, back to the end here. So towards the end, he was like, I'm done with this. You know, his true self was like, I'm going to get rid of you. So he takes a gun and shoots himself in the neck to get rid of this alter ego guy. Okay, the alter ego guy did go away, but then everything did end up blowing up because he had all these bombs and everything planted everywhere, and he wasn't able to, you know, disassemble those. And then he's still alive, though. It was really weird. It was a really weird movie. But anyway, the whole point of this is all we have to do to get rid of those so-called alter ego thoughts that are not of God, that are not of the mind of Christ, is just to think on things that are lovely and true throughout the day and take those thoughts captive. And so that movie really was a good movie, in my opinion, to, you know, I'm not promoting that movie in any way. I'm just saying, for me, I was like, oh my gosh, you know, it just applied to this so much. And the fact that all we have to do is take our thoughts captive. And if someone else is, you know, doing something in our lives and taking that responsibility, okay, here's the thing. Most people, you know, only 1% of the population believe, or they might, other people might believe it, but only 1% of the population are going to take the responsibility upon themselves to renew their minds, rewire their brains, and realize that if someone's treating them a certain way or whatever, this goes back to everyone is you pushed out, you know, that take that responsibility upon yourself, and not in a condemning way, though, whatsoever. Just realizing, okay, somehow I created this. Somehow I created this in my life, whether it's someone treating you a certain way or whether it's just a circumstance in your life, okay? But most circumstances involve other people, right? So anyway, so only 1%. Are you going to be part of that 1%, or let's up that 1% to more? And you know, that's what I'm trying to help people do and see, is that we have to take that responsibility and realize that it all starts with us. You are the solution, okay, to everything that goes on in your life. God said, it is my pleasure to give you the rule and reign, okay? And he told us how to do it. It all starts with the mind. Our minds, you know, create our life. The conscious thoughts, like I said earlier, they create everything in our brain to project out and reflect back to us. We have to truly, truly understand that and believe that. And just take upon ourselves that responsibility to change our own lives, okay? You're not really even changing your life, you're changing your experience. Because what's really going on in the truth, in the spiritual world, and everything that is really truly happening is love, is joy, is peace. He said, I have given you everything that pertains to life, this life. He's already given us everything, so all we have to do is take it upon ourselves, whether it's our finances, whether it's our health, whether it's good relationships. He's given that to us already. He created everything from the creation of the foundation of the world. Now let me finish that verse. He said, I have given you everything. Everything means everything that pertains to life, this life, and godliness, meaning the spiritual world. He's already given us peace, love, and joy, and righteousness. We are righteous. So be part of that 1%, or be part of, let's upping that 1%, okay, of making this world even a better place. Not just your own world, not just your own reality, but making this whole world a better place, right? Because, and just bringing everything into harmony like it is already happening. It's already happening. We are in harmony with everyone and everything right now. We are at peace with everything. And the only reason why we don't experience that is because we have thought a certain way. But take those thoughts captive. Just pay attention to what's happening out here in the 3D world. And if you do not like it, just go within. That you are in harmony with everything and everyone. That you are peaceful. That you are joyful. That you are healthy, that you are prosperous. and that you are surrounded with a shield of favor. So I want to end this with a good story as far as manifesting, okay? So the other day, a couple of days ago, a friend of mine, her and I went to get some lunch. And I said, hey, do you want dessert afterwards? She's like, yeah. And she's like, I'll buy, And I was like, okay. Well, I bought lunch for us. And then she said she would buy the dessert. So we went up and we got what we wanted. And as we were walking away from the counter, a girl she sticks these two huge milkshakes in front of us. And she's like, one's a strawberry vanilla and one is a Oreo one, I think, or something like that, chocolate and Oreo. And she's like, our eyes are like, oh my gosh. And we're like, well, we just bought this. And then light bulb, I'm like, well, we can take those. Yeah, sure. Take anything that's free, right? Because I say this a lot, not all day long, but I do say I get everything for free. Everything comes to me easily and effortlessly. So we took them and we were like, we'll just save what we already bought, what she bought for me, and eat it later, right? For tonight, a dessert, or tomorrow or something, or the next day. And so then another thing happened last night. I decided I wanted some ice cream. I texted a friend and she couldn't go, my neighbor, and she had just gotten out of the shower, was relaxing for the evening because it was a little bit later, so she couldn't go. And I'm like, well, I still want some. So I went out and I was just driving around a little bit, and then I went through McDonald's and I ordered a hot fudge sundae. That's what it was. And I got up to pay. There was a long line. I got up to pay, and the lady goes, what did you have? And I said, a hot fudge sundae. And she's like, okay. She's like, she handed me the receipt, and she said, the guy in front of you paid. And I was like, really? And I was like, thanks. But I shouldn't be surprised by that, right? We shouldn't be surprised when things like that happen to us. Everything is happening in our lives by our assumptions. Now, when I first started really manifesting, that was one of my assumptions. I remember this morning I said, because I used to go and get ice cream a lot, and I used to say, just to test this, so I have tested this, right, on something simple that I really didn't care whether it happened or not. I used to say, I always get my ice cream for free. And so I realized, yes, I do say I get everything for free a lot, but at the same time, I remembered that assumption. So you see how that projected out and reflected back to me. So I just thought that would help you in some way, and to see that this does work. Your conscious thoughts create. Your most dominant thoughts are creating your subconscious mind, and it's going to project out and reflect back to you, or be unveiled, if you will. I should say it will be unveiled. I like to say it that way. So I hope this helped you in some way, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.